After this lesson, you should know the basic terminology of image acquisition, know how to frame and choose the best shoot for a recording, know what a tripod is for, and know some good practices for recording educational videos. Let's begin by remembering what camera shots are. When you are filmmaking, you are recording shots. That is, you record a certain scene with the camera for a short, uninterrupted period of time. You can classify shots in a number of ways, but the most popular is by field size. This means how much of the subject and its surrounding area is visible within the camera's focus. Therefore, you have extreme wide shots, where the object of interest is framed in the context, and to the extreme close-up shot, where the camera is focusing on the specific detail of the subject. Shots are important in educational tutorials because sometimes you want your student to be aware of the surrounding context, and sometimes you want the student's attention to focus on a certain detail. Let's have a quick look at the video to train emergency responders.
First, check the victim for a response and breathing. If the infant is unresponsive and not breathing or only gasping, send someone to activate the emergency response system and get the AED. Check the infant's brachial pulse. Place 2 or 3 fingers on the inside of the upper arm, between the infant's elbow and shoulder. Place the tips of your 2 fingers in the center of the infant's chest, just below the nipple line. Do not press on the bottom of the breastbone. When you do 2 rescuer CPR, the compressor will place both thumbs side by side in the center of the infant's chest on the lower half of the breastbone.
You can also understand that the camera angle, the specific location at which the camera is placed to take a shot, is very important. This is because the video has dynamic objects, like people moving, that sometimes block what the camera is filming. You want to get the best angle in order to teach the student a specific detail. Let's look at the following example. Pay special attention to both the type of shot and the angle of the camera.
Sempre com atenção ao alinhamento e ao local de chegada da vítima durante e após o arrastamento. Os restantes elementos posicionam.
Here is a second example. Again, pay attention to the type of shot and the angle of the camera. We now will speak about an aesthetic rule, the rule of thirds. When you are framing your object of interest, you should imagine your scene as divided into 9 equal parts by 2 equally spaced horizontal lines and 2 equally spaced vertical lines. You should then place the important compositional elements along these lines or their intersections.
In this example,
let's look at the
we're asked
following
to find
video
the mean,
to see this in action.
median, mode, and range of the given data set. So let's first find the mean. Remember that the mean of a data set is the sum of the numbers in the data set.
Now let's look at another example, this time in an interview format tutorial. This video is also a good example of how the angle of the camera must change, as the object of interest changes from the interviewer to the person who is being interviewed.
I work here at the University of Amsterdam, PhD student, on interviewing, qualitative interviewing. So I did a large-scale experiment using both qualitative as well as quantitative methods.
And you're in the sociology department, right?
I'm in the sociology department.
Okay, that's great. So we have a representative from sociology. That's good. Okay.
Let's talk about tripods now. Tripods are used to stabilize the camera, avoiding video shake, and also to elevate the camera whenever necessary. Let's look at an example of how bad your video can look and how easily your students can be distracted if you don't take this into consideration. Finally, we would like to give you some best practices. 1. Always try to acquire the best video possible. This means that you should always try to record in the maximum resolution and light perfectly the room, or isolate the sounds that come from the outside. Remember that this will save time during the video editing phase. Remember that your video editing software might not be able to filter a background noise or highlight a especially dark scene. You might have a 1-hour video ruined because you didn't take these precautionary measures. Second, record multiple takes. Record several takes, even if you think that you already have a good one. The big advantage is that you give the post-production team the possibility of choosing the best one. Remember, not even professional actors do everything in a single shot. Third, avoid wide shots. Mobile devices with small screens are becoming popular. Wide shots in small screens are ineffective. Don't use wide shots frequently if you think that this is the case with your institution's students. And finally, remember one fundamental rule. Change. If a shot lasts more than a few seconds, our brain tends to shut down. Take the example of the picture. What if this was a 1-hour interview recorded with this fixed frame? Can you imagine how your brain would react after a few minutes? In a sense, if you don't change the camera shot in a 1-hour interview, then probably you wouldn't need video at all. You might just record the audio conversation. So, change. Change everything you can. Change the camera field of view or the camera angle. Add text or related content. Or just change the object that the camera is focused on. Let's summarize what we've seen in this video. Regarding the camera and the recording of the video, we have explained how important it is to choose the best shot. Choose the field of view and angle. As for the framing of the image, you have seen the importance of the rule of thirds. We have then talked about the usefulness of the tripod for video stabilization. And finally, we have given you a set of best practices.